Okay, it's 5:31, and we're going to open our Building and Code Safety Committee meeting for September the 16th. Well, thank you.
Every time I sit down.
I appreciate it.
Code committee sound effects. That's pretty cool.
Okay.
I guess.
No, it's not even important. That's the worst part.
At this time, if we have any public comments? Any public comments? Okay, seeing none, we'll go to roll call.
Malone Marshall.
Present.
Lewis here. O'Brien.
Here.
Tolly.
Here.
Marzak.
Present.
Cobbs. Noble.
Here.
We have a quorum.
Thank you. Next on our agenda are the approval of the minutes. We have the minutes for our August the 21st meeting, which was our last meeting. We didn't have a meeting in September because we were at the IML. Some of us were at the IML conference. So we did have our minutes in our packet for August the 21st, 2025, and I'd like to entertain a motion to approve those minutes.
So moved. I'll second.
Okay, we have a first by Alderman O'Brien and a second by Alderman Tolly. Roll call, please.
Malone Marshall.
Aye.
Lewis. Aye. O'Brien.
Aye.
Tolly.
Aye.
Marzak.
Aye.
Noble. Aye. Minutes approved.
Thank you. Next, we have on our agenda, did we have any questions, concerns, or changes for the minutes? None? Okay. Moving on to the bills. We have our bills for the month of August in the amount of $4,089.91. I'd like to entertain a motion to approve our bills for August.
So moved.
Alderman Tully
I'll
with
second.
the first, and a second with Alderwoman Lewis. Roll call.
Malone Marshall.
Aye.
Lewis. Aye. O'Brien.
Aye.
Tolly.
Aye.
Marzak.
Aye.
And Noble. Aye. August bills are approved.
Okay. Next, we have our bills for the month of September in the amount of $6,129.45. I'd like to entertain a motion for,
I'll make that motion, Chair.
oh, thank you, Alderwoman Lewis,
Second.
and second by Alderman O'Brien. Roll call.
Malone Marshall.
Aye.
Lewis. Aye. O'Brien.
Aye.
Tolly.
Aye.
Marzak.
Aye.
Noble.
Aye.
September bills are approved.
Thank you. Now, if you have any questions about the bills, Director Nelson is on vacation today, and being that we didn't have a meeting last month, I didn't want to cancel our meeting again this month. So if we have any questions or anything you have that you want to ask her next month, you can, save them, or you can give her a call or whatever, okay? Is that okay? All right, thank you. All righty. Next on our agenda, we have our minutes approved, our bills. Then on our director's report, we have our animal control bill for August and for September. The August bill is for $2,745, and the September bill is for $2,005. We do have with us today Carrie Laird, who is the Director for Animal Control. Thank you for coming. And so we did have some questions about the contract as far as with the animal control contract. And if anybody wanted to ask her any questions, she's here for that reason tonight.
Come up.
If you'd like to come up to, like, maybe one of these mics right here in the front, right here.
Lay on.
You can sit right there. Just pull that mic down. It should, is it on? Oh, it's not on. Okay, see, is it on now?
Yes.
There you go.
Is yours on, Mayor? Okay, let's get you on too. Well, I'd like to get you on. Okay. Mayor, did you have anything you wanted to speak with us on about the animal control contract?
Yeah, I was here for questions that you might have along with animal control. It's been a few months since we've talked about it. I think I've mentioned before, I actually think it's a valuable piece for us to enter into animal control. I do know it is $10,000 more than we budgeted last year, but we did put it in this year's budget. I know Chief Kidwell, I believe, had also sent a memo to everybody about why he thought it was a advantageous thing from the police department. I know even last meeting we talked about, we had a public comment of a lady who was on her front porch that had loose stray dogs that had come up and potentially almost attacked her and stuff, and the police. I think the biggest thing is animal control to me is they're trained in this. They have the tools, they have the things when there's a loose dog. And there's two big things for me is while our police officers can sometimes handle a situation, it's not their expertise. I know even one night when we had a loose dog at City Hall, myself and a patron waited for about some time until animal control could get there, and we had to make the calls and different things. But even the police, they're like, we can try and give it a ride in our car, and ended up putting a dog, very large dog, in the back of a squad car, which can be done, but as you know, these squad cars are $50,000. They're not, I don't know what the dogs do in the back, if they get their nails going or whatever, tearing into things. So I think it helps them. It actually helps code department too. And the biggest thing I think is and correct me if I'm wrong, when the call is made for, if it is even 911, they're dispatched automatically to animal control. We don't have to, police department or code department does not have to give permission for animal control to come out. And sometimes that means you got to either find Director Nelson, if she's on vacation, then we got to get a hold of the police department. If it's after hours, we got to find a shift commander on duty, which can take maybe 5 minutes, maybe 20 minutes. But by then the dog could be 3, 4, 5, 6 blocks away, and we don't know where it might be. So is it more expensive? I think most of you know me, I'm pretty frugal with our numbers. I don't like to spend money, but to me, the $10,000 potentially that it would cost us is a service for our residents. And it's no different than our firefighters that go when you have an accident. We don't charge them. We go and take care of the accident if you live in the city of Kankakee, or if the police need a call or whatever it might be. We're providing a higher level of service for the residents in the area. And so I'm for it. I would like to see us enter into it, only from the standpoint is Chief Kidwell would like to see it, Director Nelson would like to see it. If it costs us $10,000 more, I'm the most frugal person there is with money, but I think that little amount of money, it's not a little, it's a lot of money, but that money is worth it for our residents and our services to be able to call and have animal control be a preferred service to come out to the city of Kankakee immediately. So that's why I just wanted to make those comments tonight. I do appreciate Mrs. Lloyd being here tonight to answer any questions that you might have about the contract. Again, it's a year-to-year contract. I think if we can enter into one, and if we've got to go through the process and we find there's some things, I'll talk to you, but it can always be maybe tweaked into the next year if we see something that's not working well or something there. But to me, it's a benefit to our residents. We're just adding one more little service opportunity for that, so.
I will also mention our fees are going up in the next year, but the contract that we gave you guys states the same amount of fees we had prior to that. So we're not changing any amount of money on that contract. But it will affect the budget next year if you guys have a contractor for that reasons, as far as the fees we're changing in January.
So when are the fees changing?
January 1st.
And what?
It affects impoundment, goes up $5, and board goes up $5 a day.
Chairperson.
Okay.
At the last meeting, you know, I think the biggest holdup was the questions regarding making sure that, you know, when we enter into the contract for $30,000, there wouldn't be any other fees. I believe that to be the case, where there is no fees beyond the $30,000. Is that correct?
So the contract covers dogs, injured and sick wildlife, and injured and sick cats. Healthy cats are not covered in the contract. Those would be an additional fee if they were approved. And those, the healthy cats would have to be approved through code, same way like Bourbonnais and Mantino do them as well, but sick or injured cats or wildlife are not, don't have to be approved. Those would be included in the contract.
So if a resident, with that, if a resident calls, they would have the ability to call animal control and say, hey, I got, you know, 2 cats in my backyard. You guys will come out and...
If the cats are sick or injured, we would come out there.
Okay.
Yeah, but if they're healthy, friendly cats, we would say, unfortunately, we have to have approval. We can't take every cat off the street. We don't have a building that's big
Right.
enough for that. Unfortunately, we didn't build a building big enough. We'd have to have, you know, a very large building to take care of every animal in the...
But that would be an additional fee, though, correct?
It would. It just, yeah, for impoundment and board. So same as what you're paying now currently for every animal.
It does cover, it does not cover wildlife unless it's sick, correct? So if we
Or on
have a
public-
possum or a raccoon that is,
Public safety
Avid or-
wildlife, so
yeah.
yeah, if they're acting sick on public property, school, parking lot, those kind of things, those would be taken care of, but on your own residence, it'll have to be, everybody in the community is the same way, no matter contracted or not, sick or injured wildlife are always taken care of, and then if they're healthy animals, wildlife, we don't do anything with them. They are obviously.
and bats are included too?
Bats are a state rabies concern, so bats are always taken care of, no matter what. That's not a charge to anybody. That's covered by us, and bites to humans as well.
Just for, it is $35,000 versus 30.
Yeah,
so.
35, yeah.
And can I just, my understanding is it's $35,000, and if that's what you lock into. If it's below that number, it's $35,000. If it goes above that number, I mean, they still track and provide you all the work that they've done each month. But let's just say after 1 year, I'm going to pick a number, it was $37,500. Then the next year, they would be adjusting that contract based on that, but if it's less, there's like a...
It just depends on how it works. With Bourbonnais, the contract has stayed the same for 3 years. We're going to adjust it next year. We kind of wanted to get a baseline as to what we were going to charge them. Same way we would probably do with you guys, same way. A couple of years, keep it the same rate unless it was $25,000, and we could adjust then. So if you guys bring it to us and say, hey, our contract was $25,000, can you go down to 30 and leave a little room? We have to, I think it's 90 days in the contract to approve that. So, to edit the contract, it's 90 days. But yeah, we could definitely, it is adjustable, it's a 1-year contract, but if you go and spend $40,000, we're eating the other amount, basically, and vice versa.
I guess my concern has been raised, and Alderman Myerzak alluded to it. So essentially, we have roughly a $25,000 a year cost for your services, and we get that statement every month, and that's, you know, it's 25, it's 21, it's, you know, it's not a hard number. As we're jumping to 35, does that monthly bill essentially go away and it's all encompassed in there, or is that in addition to the 35?
That is the $35,000 is the entire fee for the year.
Okay.
Besides cats, healthy cats.
And that's what I wanted to hear. Nobody was telling me that, and
what
that
we
makes
do-
more sense.
Sure, what we do with contracted villages is we send them a monthly statement that
Sure.
says, this is what we did this month, and your credit is now $27,000,
Right,
and things like that.
right.
So you'd still get an itemized of what the work they do.
Right.
You'd get an itemized of what work, or what animals were picked up that month.
Exactly.
And I do anticipate our work will pick up a lot in the city. I hear cities calls all the time from dogs in the city quite frequently, and then the officers handle them, or they say, okay, the dog moved here, this kind of thing. We would directly handle those instead of having the police officer stop what they were doing, or when they had time to go handle the dog.
Okay.
And that's really all I wanted to hear, was that was, that was included. I mean, I buy into everything else that benefits the city and the police department and everybody else, you know. It streamlines the whole process,
It does,
as long as it's not 35,000 plus every month, you know.
right.
What it allows is the residents to call directly,
Yeah.
get service, versus the residents calling and then telling, well, you got to call code or police, and then they get frustrated because they got to make a second call, and then they got to make a third call, and then they're just like, I don't care anymore, let the dog run.
Getting rid of that process makes perfect sense.
Alderwoman Lewis? I thought that at the first time you were here with discussing it, that if we entered the contract, that that's what would include cats, because right now, it's not including cats.
We don't have a contract currently, so code tends to not authorize cats, but the contract states dogs only, public safety, wildlife, and things like that.
I know that's what the contract says, but I'm saying when you were here previously, when we were first talking about it, that's what I thought. Does anyone else remember that, the cats would be included in
No,
that?
all of our contracts are the same, we just plug the city in and the amount in. So all the contracts are blanket, just plug the city and the amount in, the village.
I understand that, but I'm still going back to the,
I don't think cats have never been, with the contract I've read, cats have never been included unless they're sick or
Yeah.
rabid or something of that nature, but cats, because there are so many cats, I think they would spend, in the city of Kankakee, there are so many cats, I think they would spend all day long, 8 hours a day picking up cats.
well, maybe it was the injured cat, I don't know, the
Injured cats are included.
Right now, there's no cats.
It doesn't state that, yeah, it doesn't state in the contract at all, but it's an assumption that it's a verbal agreement that we could sick or injured cats. And we can put that in the contract if you'd like, to make it written in there.
No, I just
Okay.
was assuming that the
Okay.
fact that cats were.
Sure.
It threw me saying that no, the cats wasn't
Okay.
a part of it. I remember specifically cats, but it could have been the injured
Okay.
ones. Did you bring the Chapter 10 ordinance for us that we must adopt? I
I
have no idea.
did not, I sent it to tomorrow, the last meeting I was here, but if I can send it to a group, or I don't know how to pass it on to
You can
anybody
send it
else.
to the mayor's office,
If you send it to
maybe.
me, I'll get it
Okay.
to everybody.
Okay, yeah. And you can find it on Muni Code. If you search Muni Code and go to Kankakee, it's on there.
Under
So
what?
it's under Kankakee County Animal Control, or Kankakee County, and then you go to Chapter 10, it's animals. A lot of ordinances are on there.
I will get that to everybody.
But your ordinances still stand as well. So you adopt our ordinances so we can write citations in the community, but doesn't mean we have to. So other communities that are contracted write their own citations, and it just gives us the ability to write those citations in your community. It doesn't take away your ordinances at all.
So your citations, then they go to where, when y'all write citations?
They go to civil court at the courthouse. And you guys don't generate any funding from that. But if we are on scene and we have an officer on scene and there's a dog running at large, or we have proof there's a dog running at large, we can let the officer know or the code know that there was running at large and proof there. And I don't know how your adjudication process goes, but we just have to show proof that the animal's off their property for running at large. And I don't know what your ordinances are, but it's how we write our citations, proof that they were off running at large or things like that.
Okay. And like with your building process, is no way that you could bill us in for the amount that we are being charged for the, when you're giving an animal back
Can you clarify
to
that?
the owner? You know, the ones where you say you have an owner that comes and picks up an animal, and then like there's a charge to us for the city.
So your charge is the impound fee for us to go pick up that animal.
Right.
And then the owner's impoundment fee is for us to take care of the animal.
Right.
And so we don't charge you board if somebody picks up the animal. We don't charge you board. We only charge the impoundment fee if no owner comes forward, type of those kind of things.
And that's what I'm saying, that fee couldn't be passed on to the person that,
They do pay their own fees as well.
well, I know, but that doesn't come back to the city.
Correct, that comes to us for our
It comes to
services.
you. That's what I'm saying. Everything comes to you, but nothing comes back to the city as far as the taxpayers' money for the impounding of this
So-
and the paying of this contract.
So that's when other communities do it where when we give them an itemized list of the animals that were picked up by their owners, they write citation to those owners. And they recoup tax dollars that way.
We can write citations to the owners if we want.
I was asking her if when they're doing the billing and if they could bill them, and then they reimburse the city for that amount.
It goes to Dawn explained it to me one time at in-house council because it's county versus city.
Yeah, I don't know.
We have to do our own billing. There isn't they can't bill and then be paying us and stuff like that. And Dawn said that from legal. But my understanding is if an owner comes and picks up the dog, you charge that owner for the boarding fees and all that, not the city of Kankakee.
Correct, you only charge the initial impoundment for us to go pick up that animal,
If no one ever comes and claims their dog or whatever, we do get charged for that.
or boarding.
And
Or
we're
euthanasia.
still going to get charged for
No
it.
matter, even if we're not in contract, we don't, what we're basically getting out of this is speedy services we're getting. Instead of response of 30 minutes later or no response, we're getting response immediately.
Right.
That's what we're basically paying $10,000 more for, is quicker response to the public.
Alderman Lewis.
What I was wondering is when the owners come to pick up, to retrieve the animals, and we know that owner there, you don't have to collect the fee, but is it possible to give them their adjudication ticket so that they are aware at that time?
If we know ahead of time and the citation is written at our department, then we can certainly help. But if we don't always know, owner could just call in the next day, my dog was picked up last night, I'm coming at 8 o'clock in the morning, and we can't always get a hold of code to have an officer writing them down here. But we can certainly do our best to try and help that. We always try to get current addresses and photo IDs as well. Can you mail citations to, okay, and that might be something you guys could do too, is mail them to the address that we have on file. I don't know how it would be possible or
Yeah, I
not.
get all that, but I was just thinking for the simple fact that you said that you could write some of our,
We can't,
No.
yeah, we can't write,
they can't write
They
up.
don't have the authority to write our ticket. Ours is through adjudication, theirs is through the courthouse.
Right, I got that. I thought with the contract, that would be something that
No.
we could,
That-
we can't write your codes, it just gives us the ability to write our code in your village. Your
okay, okay.
I guess the confusing part in that whole scenario is those fees that the city pays are fees generated by you, but they become ours to go to the homeowner, or the animal owners with. There wouldn't be a fee if you weren't charging the city for that.
Yeah, so my thought on this is a lot like what the police department does. So if you get in an accident in the city of Kankakee and you are a city resident, we just collect whatever the insurance will pay the city. We don't come after any additional money after you because we figure you're paying taxes.
Yeah.
But if a Bourbonnais resident, and this is how all the municipalities are, get in an accident in the city of Kankakee, insurance does it, and we also bill them the extra amount for what our flat fees are. Bradley just changed theirs last night to the same way. Same way with alarm calls. When there's a false alarm on a burglary of a business or a house, so if my alarm, I trip it and set it off, I get one free, I don't know if it's every 30 days or every 6 months, you get one free pass. Please show up, it's okay. But if I'm setting my alarm off every 2 weeks, they bill me
Yeah.
for setting the false alarm off. We could do something similar in the city of Kankakee. Wouldn't be with the county, but we could do something that, if you lose your dog, hopefully it only happens, I hope once,
Yeah.
maybe twice in a dog's life, but let's just say it happens once a year. If it happens once, we don't charge you. Mistakes happen, accidents happen, dogs get out. My dog's gotten out, and luckily someone called and said, your dog's down at my house here, come get it. I didn't even know it. But if it happens regularly, I think the second time or the third time, we would bill them substantially and say, you know what, this is the third time we picked up your dog. It's a $250 fee to the city of Kankakee, no different than you didn't cut your grass or you didn't whatever. I think that's an option we could add in there.
Yeah.
Giving our residents a service, but when you take advantage of the service and you violate it multiple times, you have to pay a fee.
Right. Well, and if the handoff is a little cleaner and we have the information for the animal owner, then we have the wherewithal to be able to citate internally from the city to the animal owner. Again, it's still passing through from the fees that you're charging the city. So,
and we also try to return the animal to the owner that night, so that there's
Right.
no board come to our building, so it's not charging the owners that way. We could write him a citation for running at large, or get with them next day, say your dog was not microchipped, wasn't vaccinated, we could write citations for those things, but we're not charging you for housing the animal if there's an
Yeah.
owner that comes,
yeah,
that's there. We would charge for our services to go and pick up that animal
Right.
and bring it home, but we know where the animal lives then for sure, and that could
Yeah.
be a way to recoup fees.
and if we're providing the service, that's fine. It's just, there's not a historically big record of recovering a lot of the money that we've expended in the past. And $10,000 isn't going to break the city, you
If
know.
we want to go that route, we can go that route. For me, it's always never been about fines and liens, it's been about compliance.
Yeah.
This is more about service for me, service to our residents.
Okay.
Alderman O'Brien.
Thank you. Can you describe for me the new process if we decide to do this way? If someone loses their dog, do they call animal control at the county? Is that right then?
So if an animal, anytime anybody loses their dog, they can certainly call animal control. We can take a loss report. But say an animal wanders onto your property and I don't know who this dog belongs to, you call us, we say, okay, we'll have an officer en route, and we head over there.
Got it.
The current way it states is that they call us, we say, you have to call code has to approve it, code then calls CANCOM or however they do it, and then CANCOM calls us, or they call, and then we are able to go pick up the animal. And when there's not codes on duty, then it goes through the regular beat officer and then the shift supervisor to CANCOM to our officer.
Okay. So it seems to me this new process is a lot better.
Yeah.
For the residents, for all the way around, I think. But
Less frustration all the way around. We do get frustrated citizens daily for the whole process. It's not just your community, but it is a lot of frustration.
thank you for clarifying.
Alderman Majak.
Yeah, I mean, I'm in agreement with the streamlining the process, but the loophole here would be the 35,000 plus the healthy cats. So how do we address the healthy cats when people have the ability to call? If I call you as a resident, say, hey, I got 2 cats running around my front yard, are you going to say, are they injured? If they're injured, we can come out, or we can come out, you know, I'm just saying, you know.
Up to us. What do we want to do? What do we want to dictate them to do?
Well, that's what I'm getting at, because, I mean, it does open up the potential. I'm just saying potential. We have a tremendous amount of cats out there. We don't want to incur, another 10,000 on top of what we're doing here.
Yeah.
So the only thing that I could see would be, you know, the phone call would be, you know, is the cat injured? You know, if it's not injured or appears to be injured, then I'm sorry, we can't come out. You know, we don't do cats.
And we could forward them to a rescue that could maybe help something like that, which we do currently. What we could also ask is that they take a picture and email it to us. If the cat looks sick or injured, we can assess from there
Right.
rather than using our services to go out ahead of time.
'Cause I know it was a very frustrating situation for a couple residents that had cat issues where the neighbor lady was feeding them and they're in the backyard, and it was very frustrating dealing with the resident, like, we don't have the ability to.
And I don't know, and this is just a suggestion, I have no idea if your city code says anything for feeders of cats or anything like that, if there's anything that can, you know, be suggested to recoup fees of some sort in a way.
But we don't have
There are-
rats and mice, so.
Alderwoman Lewis.
Okay, I'm just noticing on here from August 14th that there's a kitten on the on the list, so if it's a baby, does that make a difference?
It only matters if code authorized it.
So I'm assuming this is a sick kitten.
It could have been a healthy kitten that somebody then code authorized it. It's honestly, we never know what is going to be approved or not, so we always tell them to call code no matter what it is. I don't know the specific situation. I could get back to you on the details if I knew the incident. But it depending, I mean, it could have been a 2-week-old kitten that, you know, needed assistance.
Yeah, I'm assuming because it was there for 3 days.
So that's the longest that we'll charge you is 3 days for a stray animal. It's 7 days for an owned animal. And then I'm going to assume the kitten went to rescue.
Anybody else thoughts on that? I mean, that's my only, you know, hang up. I mean, would we put a cap on, you know, if it reaches X, you know?
Yeah. I'm not personally recalling that many cats on our monthly list. I'm not saying that they're non-existent,
But the process would be different.
but the process would definitely be different. And if there's a problem in the city, there's more cats than there ever has been dogs.
Right.
And it doesn't help that half of the citizenship loves their neighborhood cats that wander around and they feed them and all kinds of stuff. They're not necessarily house pets or family pets. They're just at-large pets, and people take care of them. That's, you know.
There are several groups and private citizens that do trap, neuter, vaccinate, and release, so they're not being able to procreate in the same place they came from.
Right.
Unfortunately, they are still defecating on their property, they're still taking up resources, but at least once, they're not procreating. So they have to try and catch them as many as they can, and they do out of this out of their own pocket. So I know one
Yeah.
citizen who spends more on the animals than she does herself in a year.
That's what I've had to do. I was tracking down a raccoon in my rental house, and the trapper ended up catching 3 cats, and I paid for 3 cats to go to his farm out in Martinton.
Oh, I know exactly what you're talking about.
Yeah.
We deal with him frequently, he's a great guy.
The answer to your question, Alderman Marzak, is where I think is, most of the time right now, code turns down cats just from a cost perspective.
Right.
Unless it's sick or ill. I think we still keep that policy in place, and then if this committee decides later on that they want to add cats in, then we got to get with budget and add a line item for that. But I think right now, you say no cats are taken care of unless they're sick or ill. If it's the desire, once we're into this, and we sit there and say, you know what, I think we need to add cats, then we sit there and say, okay, what kind of line item budget do we want to put for that? Do we want to put an extra $10,000 for cats?
Right.
But I think right now, to go forward, if the council is willing to enter into contract, we just keep it as cats, unless it's sick or ill, we do not, the animal control would not, we would direct them, they would not pick up the cat unless it was sick or ill.
We're authorized by code.
I like, yeah, I think we need to do that, you know, sick or injured, and, you know, recommend the shelters, but I do know, dealing with that couple situations, that all the shelters were full, so, you know, that's obviously an ongoing problem that we're not going to solve.
It is. It's, shelters are full of cats and dogs, so it's an epidemic right now that you guys don't see from the outside looking in, but inside it's a struggle for every shelter in the community and outside the community as well.
Okay.
Personally, I mean, we've been talking about this for almost a year.
Right.
I think we should probably entertain either a motion to approve or deny, in my opinion, but
Are you making a motion?
I'll make a motion to approve the contract with Animal Control for $35,000 with the addition that no cats outside of sick or injured, and a recommendation that they give them the phone numbers to the shelters that would take them. And we try it out for, you know, a year and see how it goes.
Right.
So you're
I'll second it.
recommending that it goes to the council? Are you?
Yeah,
the recommendation is that this goes-
we're just recommending as a committee, we need to put it to full city council.
Yeah, we
That's
can.
the recommendation.
Yeah.
That's the.
And I'll second that motion.
Maybe we need to address the newborn kittens situation. It's not that many. It's just a thought. But we're not doing anything with newborn kittens.
We do what?
Do you want to add, is that what you want to add in, that they take care of newborn kittens?
I honestly will add,
And then we'll go to.
I'm sorry, I can't-
if there are newborns, they should stay with their mom, whether they're on the street or not, they need to stay with their mom for 8 weeks. So we wouldn't pick them up until they're 8 weeks old unless a mom was hit by a car or injured or something like that. But if they're newborn kittens, their mom is going to come back for them, likely.
Yeah.
So you may see them hanging out there for a minute or a couple hours, but she's going to come back for them. So
Okay.
Okay.
we wouldn't take them away from their mom. They're way too young for that.
We could add that if animal control is seeing a trend, I would say that they could maybe come, you know, to the committee and at least give some recommendation that what they're seeing, and maybe we could, you know.
I think you can continue to analyze this and see how it
Correct.
goes.
Yep.
Just, I know I'm hitting a dead horse here, but there's no way that the owners that come to pick up their animals can be informed that they have an adjudication situation or something for
We
Mm-hmm.
that?
can definitely, if there's a form in place, we can definitely hand it to them as well. City code says you need to go here and pay this fine.
Right.
Okay, I like that.
Right.
We can do that, and we can direct code to start implementing, looking at the list, and when they have the names and lists, issuing tickets and fines, if that's what you'd like to do.
Well, I'm saying, well, Cole get it after the fact. You
They'll
know,
get it right after the fact, but if they can say that you are subject to, a piece of paper subject to city municipal code of additional fines and fees,
Either for them to contact, something to let.
We can have them
know.
sign a piece of paper that says that they understand it. We have, for running at large, it's a state law, we have to have them sign a piece of paper that first and second offense, so if we have them sign that, they received this piece of paper, and we send it to code with the bill each month.
That would be great.
That's what I'm.
That would be,
I can't guarantee
That's
they're
a
going to sign it, but at least we can say we informed them of the idea.
Exactly. Something so that they are aware, know that this, maybe that's one way to get them to.
The only time it may become an issue is when we return in field. So we pick up a dog at 4 o'clock in the afternoon, and dog's microchipped to Lance down the street, and we say, here's your dog. We may not be able to have him sign that he knows the adjudication process. But again, you're only getting the $50 fee for that day.
I kind of like what the mayor was talking about regarding, we give some leeway to alarms. I mean, everybody's dog gets out, it's not, me personally, I'd eat the $75, for somebody to keep their dog if they can't afford it. But, going through the adjudication process, if it's somebody that is habitual, that it's 3 times a year, if whatever that number would be. I mean, I know of a situation where the lady's dogs gets out, weekly, monthly, and I mean, that's a habitual situation where you got to have some sort of correction,
We can work on that. I think most people, especially if their dog is chipped and taken care of,
Right.
it's a family member. I joke sometimes people love their animals
Right.
more than their family sometimes, and I would love, if my dog gets loose, I would hope that animal control found it and then found me so I could get my dog back and
Correct.
pay whatever I got to pay to have my
Right.
back in my house.
Right.
And it's a guarantee that they have to be microchipped after they leave our office. Now, if we term in field, it's different, but after they leave our office, they have to be microchipped by county code.
That's a county rate.
It is, it is.
They have to make a trip where?
Yeah, one more.
The animal control, so if the animal is picked up and they're not microchipped, and we bring them back to our facility before they leave, they have to be microchipped to return to owner. Rescue, they don't have to, but to be returned to owner, they have to be microchipped.
One other question.
Sure.
Do you guys keep track of your repeat offenders on the same dogs and that type of thing?
We don't keep track, but every time the owner comes forward, we have a history in our computer system, and we know how many times that they've been in our system. It may be something that an Excel spreadsheet could be created by code, and they can just, however they want to tally them up, they can add in there.
I thought maybe some you are, I didn't want to recreate the wheel.
I'm sure I could tell you some familiar names that we know, but, it's not anybody, it's not always the same people, but we do have some frequent flyers. So,
Yeah, looking at the bills, I've seen like a similar names. I was just wondering, I didn't know if that was, stats or something like that.
So-
you guys may keep.
no, I mean, unfortunately, or fortunately, if the animal is microchipped, neutered, and has a current rabies vaccine, all those kind of things, we're only going to find them for impoundment and running at large.
What we can do, Alderwoman Lewis, is the new software that we purchased, that we hope will be rolling out in the spring, is we can make that part of it, the platform, that just like when code issues grass tickets or painting tickets or whatever, we can have a line item for animal tickets at that residence. If they're moving around or by name.
And Chief Kidwell also has access to our ORI, which is our agency number, so he can look and see how many calls we went on in a month in the city of Kankakee. And you can see, if it just says Kankakee address, he can look and see where we were in that month as well.
okay.
Thank you.
Okay, we have a motion and a second to recommend that the contract go to full council. Roll call, please.
Who's the second?
Marzak
I did.
and
Okay.
Tolly. All right.
Malone Marshall,
Aye.
Lewis, I, O'Brien,
Aye.
Tally,
Aye.
Marzak,
Aye.
Noble.
Aye.
Motion is approved.
Okay. We will be sending the contract to full council for approval. Thank you so much, Ms. Laird, for coming
Thank
and
you.
answering the questions, helping us through this. Okay, next on the agenda is new business. Any general discussion for new business?
Just like to say, we have some isolated incidences of roosters still being a continuing problem, but, I'm...
What?
Roosters,
Roosters.
Roosters. They're still a problem, they're still illegal in the city of Kankakee. We have two situations, both in the fourth ward, but one situation been taken care of, and they revoked their chicken license along with it, I guess, or going to, but I still have another rooster problem that's been ongoing for probably over a month, so I know it's being worked on, but I don't believe it's a huge problem, but when people call me up and hold the phone out the window and you hear the rooster, I know it would be very annoying for me if I was next door.
It is.
So, just bringing that up.
Okay, can you keep us informed on how long it takes you to get rid of the rooster?
Okay.
Thank you. Anyone else have any discussion?
I just have a follow-up there. I've got a rooster situation as well, and the police have been called numerous times to this address, the address, and it just seems like they say, okay, I'll get rid of it, but don't. So it really seems to take quite some time, even though the nuisance ordinance has been used as well. So I'm just texting someone right now to see how it's going. I've not heard for a while, so
Okay, if you could keep us up
more to come. Sure, thank you.
on that one.
Just curious, when chickens get loose, is there anything in place? Because we can't call code, because that's wild. Chickens are considered wildlife, right?
No, chickens are on a separate thing, they by themselves. You can't call, you just have to call code. And they have to give them a
Let it
ticket.
wander home.
Well, you know how chickens are. Hey, they used to running free in the country, so that's really where they're supposed to be. So to bring them into the city, it's not gonna change their attitude, they're still gonna be chickens. So they're gonna move around.
So you're saying you can take the chicken out of the country, but you can't take the country out of the chicken?
That's exactly what I'm saying. That's exactly what I'm saying. When you bring chickens into the town, they still gonna be chickens. They not gonna change just because they in town. So,
Just for the record, the fifth ward, I believe, still holds the record for the pig. We had baby cows. We had baby cows.
I think that they gonna hold that record for quite some time. But the rooster is very annoying.
Yes.
I remember when there was one in the 6th ward, the resident would call me in the morning so I could hear the rooster on the phone, and it was just such an irritation to
Right.
me, I'm just like, really? Thank you, okay. We're gonna work on that. And that's how it was, so they finally got rid of it, because they would take it and put it in the basement. And so, while it was in the basement, it seemed like the rooster was gone, but you can't keep a rooster in a basement either, so that's another thing about it.
Even an emotional support rooster?
Oh, I tell you. I need my rooster, but, thank you for that. I thank you all for letting us know that we do have an issue with the roosters, because we're gonna have to keep following up on that, because there are no roosters allowed in town, so they have to go. We can only do the chickens. Okay, any other general discussion? Mayor, did you have anything that you wanted to bring to the code?
I'm good right now.
Okay. Any alderman questions or concerns? We have no need for an executive session. I'd like to entertain a motion to adjourn.
So moved.
Okay, Alderman Marzak and Alderwoman Noble. All in favor?
Aye.
We are adjourned at 6:14 PM.